right, so this is going to be another movie review. This one's called Radiating Joy, the Michelle Duppong story. This is going to be another obscure Catholic documentary that has no IMDb page or Wikipedia page. I'm giving it 3 out of 5 stars. I thought it was better than the much better than the Gamer saint who didn't get canonized because Bergoglio died. Thank God. And I don't think Bergoglio ever repented any of his annoying, stupid teachings about global warming and economic inequity. Things that are utterly detached from the teachings of Christ. Anyways, Radiating Joy, the Michelle Duppong story. In 2014, Michelle was unexpectedly diagnosed with cancer at age 31 while serving as director of adult faith formation for the Diocese of Bismarck. I misspoke in my last video and I said Diocese of Denver. Although she did grow up in some little farm town in Colorado. I don't know if it was part of the Denver Diocese. Maybe that's why I got confused. And I also misspoke in my one of my previous videos about, or maybe 2 of my previous videos about adding the Barry Mahon movies. They weren't actually Barry Mahon movies. They were Errol Flynn movies from the late 50s, which I added to the bottom of my movies list. We're talking, these are The Sun Also Rises, The Roots of Heaven, and The Big Boodle. These are all Errol Flynn movies, not Barry Mahon movies. I misspoke about both Michelle Duppong and Barry Mahon and Errol Flynn. Sorry about that. Before serving as director of the adult faith formation for the Diocese of Bismarck, Duppong had served as a focus missionary for 6 years. I don't think focus missionaries make that much dough. I think they make about $38,000 a year. She battled the disease with perseverance and a docile spirit until December 25th, 2015, Christmas Day, when she passed away at age 31. She's very comely. I wish I could have met her. In all of her pictures, she's smiling. That's why this movie is titled Radiating Joy. And I don't know much about her personally. I don't know her positions on abortion, the liturgy, the nonviolent teachings of Jesus. You know, all the hot button issues of Catholicism. We don't know what her position is, but she seems to be leaning toward the teachings of Christ, at least from the little bits and pieces that I was able to gather. And she may have performed a miracle that's being investigated, that her intervention with our Lord may have cured somebody's cancer. So we actually have a priest, or a bishop, I should say, who's who's saying that there might be a miracle here, an actual miracle. Although he does go on to say later that miracles are happening all the time, every day. When we wake up in the morning, it's a miracle that God didn't kill us or something, snuff us out. Anyways, he has a kind of loose interpretation of miracle. So we'll see how that plays out. On November 1st, 2022, Bishop David Kagan celebrated the opening mass for the cause of canonization. And it seemed like this Diocese of Bismarck, they have the traditional vestments for the altar boys, but it looks like they might be doing some kind of funky mishmash of Latin, Spanish, English, and some kind of mishmash of the Novus Ordo Mass. They might do the Kyrie eleison, and maybe they might throw in. It looks like traditional vestments in that diocese, but you don't see any incense or thurifer. You don't see any of that. So I'm guessing that this Michelle Duppong, was subjected to the Novus Ordo sect of the modern Catholic Church as we know it, or at least the church that was hijacked by a bunch of modernists, including but not limited to JP2 and Teresa of Calcutta. Why did they show pictures of JP2 and Teresa of Calcutta in this one? Those are not you. If you want to look at saints who are inspiration, you don't go to the 20th century's heretics who should be uncanonized. You go to St. Francis, like that priest was saying in the video. You look up to St. Francis. I don't know why the director included the 20th century saints as inspiration. That was a big bummer when I saw that. It was a big letdown. And again, I don't know her personal views on hot button issues that are Catholic, but I do know that she may have performed a miracle, which is at least something that they should mention in these documentaries of people who have been recently brought up for the cause of canonization. According to Focus.org, which I have no idea about, but it might be something that my son might be interested in. We are so excited to celebrate the opening of the diocesan investigation of Michelle Christine Duppong, which could lead to her beatification and canonization. On December 29, 2014, Michelle was unexpectedly diagnosed with cancer while serving as the director of adult faith formation for the Diocese of Bismarck, North Dakota. Before that, Duppong had served as a Focus missionary for 6 years. She battled the disease with perseverance and a docile spirit until December 25th, 2015, when she passed away at the age of 31. Bishop David Kagan, Diocese of Bismarck, North Dakota, announced the opening of the investigation June 15th at the commissioning mass at Focus New Staff Training at the University of Mary. Michelle was a radiant, joyful woman with the heart of a true servant, said Monsignor James Shea, president of the University of Mary. For the students on our campus, she was an inspiration and a treasured mentor, teaching them by her example the transformative power of friendship with God. The diocesan investigation, which involves the gathering of evidence about Michelle's life and deeds, will include witness testimonies and compilation of private and public writings. When this is completed, the next step towards the case for beatification and canonization is for the evidence to be presented by the diocese to the Congregation for the Causes of Saints at the Vatican. From there, the cause could proceed at a steady pace. Yeah, I bet it will under Bob, the new modernist running the Vatican. Focus invites the public to pray for the progression of the diocese investigation, and Focus will be sharing more about her life through various platforms. Learn more about this at the Servant of God Michelle Duppong Guild website. Read our blog post about this film, the movie you need to see this November, Radiating Joy. There's a press release from Bishop David Kagan beginning the process for the canonization of Michelle Christine Duppong. Press release documentary Radiating Joy. The Michelle Duppong story premieres at select theaters across the United States. This was last year. Press release eCatholic partners with Focus and Fathom events on the new film Radiating Joy. Press release Radiating Joy, the Michelle Duppong story, coming to theaters nationwide for one night only, November 12th through Fathom events. And here's a YouTube video. Bishop David Kagan begins the process for the canonization for Michelle Duppong. So you've got all these links. I could go on for hours about Michelle Duppong. She seems like she might be a worthy candidate for beatification and canonization. We'll have to wait and see what Bob says. The new Novus Ordo conservative champion, because he doesn't permit sodomy, so he's a new champion of the Novus Ordo conservatives. Like Father Matzah in Belmont, where my son serves the TLM altar that's attached to the wall there at IHM. I like Father Matzah, even though he's a conservative, and I'm more of a early Christian traditionalist, I guess. I don't even know how to describe my brand of Catholicism. I guess it's closer to Father McCarthy than anything else. Maybe a little bit of Sanborn when it comes to liturgy. But there's so much great tradition when it comes to Catholic rites, and not all of them are being celebrated across the world. But, anyways, I've never actually been to a Byzantine rite or a Sarum rite. So, next on my list, enough about Catholic controversies, canonization candidates, and whatnot. If I watch another Catholic documentary on 20th century a potential saint, I'm gonna barf. Although Michelle Duppong is very attractive, I wish I could have known her personally to get a better idea of what kind of Catholic she actually is. I'd be interested to investigate her canonization myself, but I'm not a I'm not an expert in theology, and I don't pretend to be, but I do know the teachings of Christ a little bit. As I said to my parochial vicar, God is merciful. And I think Michelle Duppong actually said that. God is merciful because God is love and God is the Father. So that's all you need to know, really, when you're studying theology. Just go by the Behold the Lamb series by Father McCarthy. That's all you need to know. And you're an expert. You know more than most Catholics if you follow Father McCarthy in his nonviolent approach to the gospel. Very interesting and intriguing stuff. I wish they would put Father McCarthy's stuff on forum.org, but it's all Augustine Institute nonsense for the most part, modernist garbage. And so it's not surprising that my parochial vicar and my parish in general recommended this in their parish bulletin, this forum.org, as an alternative to the mainstream nonsense like Miami Vice that Karate Man is addicted to. I don't see the appeal of Miami Vice. Can somebody please explain it to me? Must be an Australian thing. I don't know. I'm not too crazy about Miami Vice. But going down the pike, we've got number one on Deadly Ground, Steven Seagal blockbuster movie, where he showed the world that he's a total idiot. On Deadly Ground, 1994. Then we've got Santa and the Three Bears, 1970, another Barry Mahon. And then we've got The Lodger, a story of the London fog, 1927. This one's this is a silent thriller film by Alfred Hitchcock. The Lodger, a story of the London fog. That looks interesting. I'm actually looking forward to the third movie on my list, The Lodger, a story of the London fog, a black and white silent film from none other than the great Alfred Hitchcock. Now that looks intriguing. So Monday, today I did 4 reviews. Thank you very much. Not that anybody watched them. Karate Man was in the chat room for about 5 minutes. But yeah, I did 4 reviews today. I'll try to do another 4 on Monday. God willing, if I don't take tons of nappy poos on Monday, Memorial Day, because I'm off from work. I get a paid holiday on Monday. Thank God. Get to rest, watch movies, and review them on YouTube's. So if my goal is to do 9 reviews this weekend, and we're going to whittle this list down. Maybe I'll get to Fear in the Night, 1946. Oh no, actually, I've got to add another form.org movie night thingamabobber. So let me sign in. Now, I'm not saying that Michelle Duppong is a bad person. I'm just very skeptical of the Augustine Institute. Form.org, based on what I've seen so far, Form.org is a wasteland of modernist thinking. Based on what I've seen so far. So I don't recommend the website. It's one of these Novus Ordi conservative websites, if you know what I mean. Okay. So next up is Footprints of God with Stephen Ray. Footprints of God. With Steve Ray or Stephen Ray? Footprints of God with Stephen Ray, popular Catholic author, speaker, and apologist. Looks like Ignatius Press. Footprints of God 9 DVD special. How many videos are on here? 9? Oh, 18 episodes. This is a film series hosted by popular Catholic author, speaker, and apologist Steve Ray. Fast-paced, entertaining biography, travel documentary, Bible study, apologetics course, and church history study rolled into one remarkable adventure. This looks interesting. I might actually enjoy this. comes with the Footprints of God lesson plans and Footprints of God study guide. This is from Ignatius Press. And they actually came out with 9 DVDs for $100. If you want to collect all 9 DVDs. But why would you do that if you can get it for free on forum.org? Anyways, I'm up over 25 minutes. I'm going to put Footprints of God film series as number 4 on my list. But I'm going to treat it like a television show. And I'm only going to watch the first one. I'll base my review off the first one. Abraham, Father of Faith and Works. And they even have a Spanish version of this. Pretty cool looking stuff. So I'm not going to watch 18 episodes and then get back to my movie list. I made that mistake with the Renegade television show, and I did watch every single episode of the Renegade television show, unlike Miami Vice. I only watched 2 seasons. Or $1 Million Man. So I'm going to do it like that. It might slow down my list a little bit because I'm going to alternate between movie and this Catholic series, Footprints of God. So in other words, after I'm done with number 4, Footprints of God, Abraham, Father of Faith and Works, then I'll do Fear of the Night, 1946, as my number 5. And then my number 6 is going to be The Footprints of God, Moses, Signs, Sacraments, and Salvation. So there you have it. My channel is getting more Catholic oriented by the moment. It might be the Novus Ordi conservative branch of Catholicism, but we'll try to keep an open mind with Footprints of God. I might actually learn something from this later.